I went to a psychiatrist because I'm good now, but I was depressed for a really long time. I was sleeping all day, crying all day, binge eating, not knowing what to do, feeling directionless, not wanting to work. Like, I was getting pretty bad to the point I was like, what do I do? So I went to a psychiatrist because I wanted to have a diagnosis. I wanted to figure out what was wrong with me. Like maybe I'd start taking meds. Maybe just knowing what I had would help me act accordingly. So I was sitting in the psychiatrist's office trying to talk to him like I would talk to a therapist. And he just kept interrupting me when I was trying to talk to him like a therapist to talk about himself, kind of talk about his ego. And I was like, is he interested in learning about, what my traumas are? So maybe why I have these things that I do. He had me fill out this sheet of paper, and he only had me fill out a sheet of paper for depression. And as we were talking, he was saying some things that were obvious red flags. Like he said the R word, which I think as a psychiatrist, you shouldn't really be throwing that around. And he warned me that there were a lot of Black people hanging out on one of the corners in San Diego. And I'm like, okay, that's a little odd. That was a red flag, but I already paid for the session. Red flag number 2, this immediately tries putting me on Lexapro. And I don't think there's anything wrong with Lexapro, but he didn't test me for anything else. He had me fill out a sheet of paper for depression only. Didn't have me fill out any other tests, talk to me, whatever. And here's the thing. I have a very sensitive body, to where I tried Adderall for a week straight, and then all of a sudden my body was breaking out in hives. I can't do Molly anymore because my body has bad reactions. When I do cocaine, I had to stop doing that because I just immediately throw up. I don't even really drink anymore because my body just has reactions when I do it too often. So mushrooms are the only thing my body seems to react well with. So I expressed my concerns, with my, substance abuse in the past, asking if there are any side effects to Lexapro, to which he had the audacity to tell me there were none. And, at first I'm like, oh, okay, sounds good. There's no side effects. This is going to make me feel better, etc. So I went home and I was like, this sounds a little fishy. Have you ever heard of a pharmaceutical drug not having any side effects? So I went on Reddit and I found that there are a ton of side effects. There are a lot of potential side effects. And it's illegal for him to even say that there would be none. That is completely illegal and unethical of him to do. So when I bring this up to him, I was texting him, sent him screenshots of the Reddit, being like, okay, there are horrendous side effects. Why didn't you mention this? I'm uncomfortable even taking the drug now. And he continues to deny the side effects. And his exact words are, well, if you drink too much, you'll have side effects. If you do too much of anything, you'll have side effects. But then on Reddit, it'll say things like people taking the lowest dosage still having the side effects. And then he continues to ask me, oh, are you going to go back to a weekend of drinking and doing psychedelics? And first of all, that's not really his place to ask. Second of all, if he listened at all to me speaking, I told him I don't drink. I think I've mentioned this on my podcast. I mentioned it on Instagram. I allow myself to drink once a month. And that once a month, it helps bring my anxiety down. I don't really have the side effects of drinking. I am just in a happy little mood. But if this man would have listened to me at all, he would have known I don't really drink. And I think if he did any research about psychedelics, he would know that some psychedelics, and if you use them correctly in the right headspace, they can be just as effective as a lot of antidepressants without as many side effects because, they're natural and grow from the ground. So he also accused me of refusing treatment when I was telling him that I thought that there were side effects. And when he told me I was refusing treatment, I literally had flashbacks of being kidnapped and sent to the troubled teen rehab in Utah. So I had nightmares of being kidnapped again, literal nightmares. I locked all my doors. I kept checking my peephole because I kept thinking I was hearing sounds. And if you know anything about anxiety, sometimes you can make scenarios up in your head or a scenario will happen and you just make it 20 times worse because you're oh my God, this is gonna happen. It's the end of the world. I'm gonna die. And I was having a really bad trauma response. But I just thought I'd kind of share that little story. And have no fear though. I'm taking all the steps to being in a good headspace again. And I think I finally really gotten over in my depression. And I've been pretty good lately.